The sound of twisted steel and shattered glass exploded across the valley. And in that instant, I knew Karen had finally lost. Her massive truck, the one she brought as a trophy in front of investors and county officials, was crushed against what she thought was just another flimsy ranch gate of mine. Steam hissed. Coolant poured. Her confidence evaporated on the spot. I sat there with my coffee, watching her crawl out of the wreckage, and thought, this was the moment months of harassment and humiliation finally flipped back on her. Let me rewind. I'd worked 30 years in construction, built custom homes for other people, saved enough to buy myself freedom. 15 acres of Texas countryside outside a small development called Maple Ridge. I picked it for the peace, the space, the fact that it was outside the reach of a homeowners association, or so I thought. First morning of retirement. I was sipping my coffee on the porch when a sleek black SUV rolled up. Out stepped Karen Whitmore, HOA president of Maple Ridge, dressed like she was heading for a country club photo shoot. Perfect hair, politician's smile, that fake sweetness people use when they're about to screw you over. She complimented my rustic wooden gate then, without warning, slammed her BMW through it like it was nothing. Cedar exploded into splinters. She just kept driving. Taillights bouncing down my driveway as if it belonged to her. I called the sheriff, Collins, a tired man who already sounded beaten down by local politics. He sighed and told me, "You'd be better off handling this through legal channels." Legal channels? She'd just committed vehicular assault on my property. But, apparently, Karen was untouchable around here. That day, I spent hours patching up my gate with spare lumber, swearing under my breath the whole time. I thought maybe she'd made her point and would move on. Big mistake. Every morning at 7:45, like clockwork, Karen came back. Sometimes with her original SUV, sometimes with an even heavier one, always plowing through whatever repair I had done. The sound of expensive German engineering tearing apart my hard work became my daily alarm. Neighbors watched, some with pity, some with avoidance. No one intervened. And soon enough, word spread. People whispered about how Karen was teaching me a lesson. One evening, a slick-looking lawyer named Daniel Price showed up at my door. Expensive suit, too much cologne, big handshake, and business cards about HOA property disputes. He offered to protect my rights. Desperate. I signed a stack of papers he said would secure my property. I didn't realize at the time I'd basically signed away leverage. Later, my friend Rick, a neighbor who sometimes helped me rebuild, whispered that Daniel was often seen sitting beside Karen in HOA meetings, like her right-hand man. My stomach dropped. I'd paid for my own rope, and she was tightening it around my neck. Karen escalated. She started showing up with so-called inspection teams carrying clipboards, taking photos of my gate repairs, mumbling about violations. She brought surveyors to measure my land like they already owned it, waving her arms across my pasture and talking about community gardens and walking trails for Maple Ridge residents. The way she gestured, you'd think my land was just an empty canvas for her little empire. And the scariest part? People clapped. Investors nodded. Neighbors, many who owed Karen favors or feared her wrath, stood by silently. That's when Martha came into the picture. Martha Grant, an attorney recommended by Rick, who had seen too many Maple Ridge families crushed under Karen's schemes. She had files, thick binders full of identical cases, homeowners bullied until they gave up their land. Same playbook every time. Ram property lines, file fake easements, stack violation notices, escalate pressure with mysterious accidents until families caved. Hendersons lost their water lines overnight. Carters suffered endless blackouts, broken pipes, even electrical fires, all labeled accidents. Every one of them sold for pennies. And Karen's development projects boomed. My case was just her next target. I'll admit, that broke me. One night, I sat on my porch staring at my broken gate again, coffee cold in my hands. I thought, maybe I should just sell and walk away. I was tired, angry, humiliated. Who was I to fight her? Neighbors saw me as selfish for resisting progress. Investors saw me as an obstacle. Even the sheriff treated me like a nuisance. I muttered to myself, maybe I'm the crazy one, holding on to old wood and dirt while everyone else moves forward. That moment of doubt cut deeper than any wrecked gate. For the first time, I thought about surrendering. But then I looked at the land, the open field, the cedar posts, the sunrise glowing across my pasture, and I remembered 30 years of sweat, blisters, and calloused hands that earned me this. No way in hell was I handing it to a bully who thought her title gave her divine rights. That night, I made a choice. If the law was slow, if the neighbors were blind, then I'd fight on my own terms, with the one skill Karen could never anticipate. Real engineering. Rick agreed to help, though I could see the fear in his eyes. She's got the whole town in her pocket, he said. I nodded. That's why we'll make this perfect. In my barn sat leftover steel eye beams from my construction days. We spent nights welding, measuring, pouring concrete 4 feet deep. From the road, the new gate looked just like the old cedar one, rustic, fragile. But inside, 2 inches of solid steel plate, industrial hinges, reinforced posts disguised as weathered wood. It could stop a freight train. And then came the psychological part. 20 feet before the gate, we dug a fake pit, covered it with painted boards to look like grass. From a distance, it screamed amateur trap. I told Rick, she'll see it, feel smug about spotting it, then aim for the gate, convinced it's just wood. Her arrogance will drive her right where we want her. Days later, Karen called me herself. Her voice dripped with triumph. Tomorrow, I'm bringing important investors to see the land. And don't worry about your little gate. I've arranged a bigger vehicle to clear it. You'll see what real progress looks like. She hung up before I could answer. My pulse quickened. She was bringing a convoy. Perfect. The next morning, 7:45 sharp, I saw the parade. 15 cars, residents, county officials, investors, all trailing behind a massive pickup with a steel brush guard. Karen sat in the driver's seat, waving like a queen. She announced loud enough for everyone. This is what happens when one man's stubbornness stands against community progress. Her audience clapped. She revved the engine, eyes fixed on my gate. From the hidden cameras, I watched her brake lights flash as she spotted the fake pit. She smirked, swerved wide, and gunned the engine straight toward the gate. Then, crash. The sound was thunderous, metal folding into itself, her unstoppable truck crumpling against the hidden steel. Steam and smoke gushed out, and the entire convoy gasped. Karen stumbled out, her designer jacket soaked in coolant, screaming, "This is impossible! This gate was supposed to break!" That's when Martha stepped forward, notepad in hand, flanked by county investigators. She spoke loud and clear. "Ladies and gentlemen, this woman has been operating a fraudulent scheme across multiple counties, filing fake claims, stealing land, and profiting millions through intimidation. She handed over files, photographs, forged letterheads. Cameras captured every word, every page. Neighbors who once defended Karen looked stunned, betrayed. Investors pulled back, whispering to each other. Officials demanded answers. Karen shrieked, insisting she was bringing value and progress. But nobody bought it anymore. Her mask had cracked, her empire collapsing in real time. The sheriff who once shrugged showed up with warrants. By the time handcuffs clicked around her wrists, the silence among the crowd said everything. Trust shattered. Illusion gone. I stayed on my porch, watching. No applause, no celebration, just the quiet weight of justice finally settling. My gate stood untouched. Disguised cedar hiding solid steel. Proof that arrogance can be outsmarted with patience and grit. Karen was led away, eyes darting, outfit ruined, future destroyed. And in that silence, I finally breathed easy. What I learned is simple. Boundaries aren't just fences or maps. They're lines of principle you can't let anyone bulldoze, no matter how sweet they smile or how powerful they pretend to be. And that's the truth we live by here on HOA Drama Unfolded.